hiring on my staff from each county to be my advisory commission so that I can form a consensus platform that will take care of the interests of the entire constituency. And my friend Jesse has kind of helped me correlate some of that. So I'm Ike McCorkle. I am a retired Marine Corps officer. I served 18 years in the Marines and was medically retired due to some of my injuries. And I've got 3 kids in Douglas County schools. My son, Junior is 12, Danica is 10, and Alan is 7. And they're primarily why I decided that I had to run for office. My plan when I retired from the Marines was to garden and do yoga, exercise, and be present in my kids' lives. Like a lot of people, my trajectory kind of shifted through the 2016 election process. And I saw the government and the institutions and the integrity of those institutions that I swore to support and defend being compromised. And I did some environmental science classes at CU, and I felt like the environmental crisis that we're in was not being addressed or even acknowledged. And so I felt like I had to do something. And so I started advocating, I started campaigning. I was a Bernie guy first, and then I supported Hillary. And then I found Chase Coney's campaign here in CD4, supported that, and I supported Karen McCormick. And then when this election cycle started to come around, I contacted Chase and I said, "Are you going to run?" I contacted Karen, "Are you going to run?" She said, "No, I'm running in HD 11. And I decided, well, we need somebody that's going to be a strong candidate, that's going to be a progressive candidate, that can advocate, that can also communicate a message across the aisle. And as an active duty Marine, I had to work with folks from every walk of life, from every political background, religious, racial, orientation, and we had to achieve a common instinct and objective. And I think that we can do the same thing in the Congress. I think we need more career military people in the Congress, more educators, more scientists, so that we can form a collaborative effort to address the existential crisis of our time.
If you don't mind, I'll kick us off. We did this last time with Lorena, but so for those of you who don't know, Grover Norquist is a big Republican guy. He makes every Republican sign a pledge that says, "I'm not going to raise taxes under any circumstances." And if you're a Republican and you want to run for federal office and you don't sign Grover Norquist's pledge, you don't get to run for office as a Republican. Well, the guys who founded Justice Democrats decided we can have a progressive pledge as well. So, Ike, I want to ask you the pillars of the progressive pledge is real simple stuff, 5 things, just to say that you're going to fight for these ideals when you get in office. So, the first is higher wages. I pledge to fight for a $15 an hour minimum wage tied to inflation and collective bargaining, and to work on behalf of the American worker instead of corporate donors.
Yeah, so want to go through them one at a time, really?
Yeah.
Give you a response real quick?
Well, just do you support that? Yes or no?
I do, and I think we need to talk about not just the $15 minimum wage, but we really need to talk about a geolocation-specific livable wage that should be the minimum wage in that district based on the cost of living in that location.
Okay.
And we also need to talk about a maximum wage.
Absolutely. So the next one is Medicare for all. I pledge to fight for a single-payer Medicare for all healthcare system that transforms healthcare in this country into a right, not a privilege.
Absolutely. I have great healthcare and access to healthcare because I'm a combat wounded veteran. You know, I don't think that the average American citizen in the richest nation on earth ought to have to be wounded in combat in order to get access to healthcare. So I think that a single-payer Medicare for all healthcare system makes the most sense for our citizens' well-being and financially. So, absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, the next one is Green New Deal. I pledge to fight for a 10-year plan to mobilize every aspect of American society to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions and create millions of new high-wage jobs building the infrastructure and industries of the new economy.
Absolutely, I do, and I also think that we should stand back up the Civilian Conservation Corps in order to make that happen, and I think that we should change one of DOD's main mission sets to be addressing climate change.
Fantastic. So, the next pillar is college for all. I pledge to fight for free college for all so that everyone can get to live the American dream, not just the wealthy elite.
Yes, I think that education should be free from preschool all the way through a PhD if they choose to study that long.
Fantastic. And the last piece is to end the corruption. I pledge to fight for a constitutional amendment to ban the private financing of elections and use all available paths to that amendment so we can once again have free and fair elections.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, we need proportional representation. And one of the overarching problems with all of our systems is the intrusion of undue influence into our legislature. And Eisenhower warned us about it. You know, he talked about the dangerous potentials of the congressional military-industrial complex to corrupt the motivation or the impetus of the legislators to serve the will and the best interest of the citizen. And you know, that was his address to the nation, like, watch out, this is coming. And it's so much come to fruition, and it's not just the CMIC, the Congressional Military Industrial Complex anymore. It's international conglomerate corporations, sometimes hostile foreign powers that control the purse strings and the puppet strings that control our legislators. And you have corporations passing bills under the table to their paid-for pawn politicians. And who do you think those bills are going to take care of? They're going to continue the enfranchisement of the super rich. They're going to continue to make it so that corporations like Amazon and Netflix pay zero in federal dollars to repair our infrastructure, build our roads and our bridges. You know, we have a major problem across the board with the intrusion of undue influence, and we need to get dark money out of politics and make it a publicly funded venture. And that way, our best and brightest, not just our fiscally enfranchised, are able to run for and compete for public office.
All right. So that is Ike McCorkle, CD4 Colorado, another congressional candidate signed on to the Progressive Pledge. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
And now, everybody else, please feel free to ask whatever questions you have.
We have got our plate filled with a plethora of issues that we could talk about.
Yes, sir.
And it's rather simple for Republicans. Tax cuts to the rich, hate, boom, yell, scream. That's their whole pledge.
Right.
We've got basically society to worry about. One of the things I know that is very interesting and very concerned with so many people at this table is our environment. Would you be willing to support a bill that would make it absolute necessity, a part of the law, that every new home built in this country or building should have its own solar put on it? No more of this wasting of energy,
Right.
and no more of this
Wasting
fossil
space.
fuel insanity.
Yeah,
It's just a step
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, as step one, that would be a great first step. And actually, California, by 2022, already has laws on the books that require every new construction to have solar on the roof. It's absolutely something we need to do. And the environmental crisis is not made up. Climate change is real. And we have to start addressing the real scientific projections, not just, you know, what we would like to be happening with respect to sea level rise.